Hello, fellow humans. You are listening to a disembodied voice, tapping into streams of consciousness to evoke conscious thought. Hello, fellow humans. It is December 28th, 2023. Where did this year go? I can't let the year go without saying something. And this may end up being a few parts slapped together by New Year's Eve because I think I've got a lot to say. I was just watching a video on potential grocery shortages in 2024, and I'm recalling being in high school, after Reagan opened up the markets to us, really made us pray. People don't understand it's how much we changed things when we handed ourselves over to business. As much as conservatives loved Reagan, and they've also got to realize that it was the conservative glut that created the environment that has everything just so messed up now. Because we gave the world to profiteers. And every caution that was made was dismissed as small risk. There's a small risk of this happening. We don't see this. We are going to find science, honestly, science is corrupt. Academics it's all corrupted, people. We need to stop listening to the marketers. Okay, back when globalization wasn't our reality, it was just beginning. I'm like, no. We need to build strong, local, self-sustaining communities that can share. We don't need to create countries that produce one product that we can exploit and sure, we're lifting them out of poverty. No, we're lifting them out of a natural existence and putting them in our technologically let's fuck with everything existence. We are taking people away from communities and making them individuals. That is why we're in the mess we're in, people. When we decided that religious institutions, because that's what we should have just thrown out, the institutions that we human beings make up, and we decided that God was bad. God was what we had to throw out, our spiritual existence that nobody knows how to in our culture. My generation, okay, maybe the baby boomers were the ones who started the real glut, but it was my generation. It was Generation X that said, I don't care, fuck it, I just want to have a good time. And then we got millennials, and boomers and X's went, what the hell? And all I can say is, what the hell did you expect with what you modeled? You know what my problem is with the over-sexualization of everything? Is we completely have lost sight of its primary purpose. And, can sex be used in all sorts of ways? Is sex an integral part of who we are? Yes. But we should have some respect for it. All Gen X did was say, oh, that's a rule, let me flip the bird at it. Let's do the exact opposite. Why is it good that kink is being taught to children? Because I will tell you, what they're calling sex education in high school is not sex education, it's kink education. Recreational sex should not be taught in schools. Identity sex is, wow, the fact that I'm so pained. I'm so distressed. Honest to God, I am so distressed at what's going on. How is it that we are judging ourselves against social constructs and saying we hate ourselves this much that me, the way I was born, the way I was created by my creator, however you envision God, good, orderly direction, the way I came, disabled, not disabled, feeling right in my body, nobody ever, especially puberty is the most awkward, you're going to feel uncomfortable. And the ideas that get put in your head, it's the social, we are trying to shape ourselves, physically altering ourselves, changing our actual chemistry to fit social constructs. It should be the other fucking way around. Marketers have made us hate ourselves so they can make money. The first big feminist publicity stunt was March 31st, 1929, Easter Day Parade, New York City. Bunch of young women pulling out cigarettes, calling them torches of freedom. And people look down their nose at me for being a fucking smoker. Go back and look at how we've all been manipulated. People like their cars. And they wonder why the geese are flying around making noise in the end of December in Toronto. We're a bunch of addicts, and we all have to look in the mirror and own up and start acting like responsible adults. We need to put it back in our fucking pants for the sake of kids. You know what happens when you teach a child to masturbate before puberty? They become a sex addict. I was chronically masturbating by the time I hit puberty. Sex wrecked me and my life. I could tell you some things. The fact that they are introducing kink to teenagers, teenhealthsource.com/pleasure. Check it out. It's a Toronto generated United Way Planned Parenthood website. Kink education for teenagers. My first perpetrator was a 13-year-old who was overcome in the heyday of the sexual revolution in the 70s by images and feelings. And he pulled this little 3-year-old aside and sodomized her. Because he got ideas put in his head, and he had this uncontrollable physiological process that every fucking human being goes through. We litter brains with crap, and then we wonder why everybody is just losing their minds, because we're not human anymore. We're toys. Who gives you the right to alter anything? Your sense of ego. Gross individualism is gross, guys. We've got to start thinking about ourselves as a part of a whole again. I am so brokenhearted. And that's why I'm angry, because we are really destroying ourselves. The quote that I cannot attribute at the moment. It is no measure of sanity to be well adjusted to a maladjusted world. Has been around for a really, really long time, guys. I was watching this video and they're talking about the climate and stuff. Okay, yeah. Were climate activists have they always been extreme? Yeah. Do they have a point, though? What would have happened had people not raised alarm bells in the 70s about what was going on in the 80s? I remember going to Greenpeace rallies as a young teenager, wanting to stop. There's a reason why I'm a dedicated pedestrian. There's also a reason why being a dedicated pedestrian has me in the physical state that I'm in part. Keeping up with a car-driven world, especially one like Toronto, the most over-entitled, spoiled fucking brats, the drivers in this city. Stop signs are not optional, and getting tickets for running them is not a cash grab. We have an average death rate of 3 pedestrians a month in this city. I actually think it might be a little lower this year because finally people are waking up to the fact that they're absolutely reckless, dangerous bullies. When I am crossing a street with my walker and I have to bump up over a curb and that guy making his right-hand turn, I feel his wind at my back because he can't wait until I am on the sidewalk. That's the law. People's lives mean more than your 3 seconds. To the arrogant, self-centered assholes that consumer culture has turned us all into. And instead of changing ourselves to fit the mold that none of us ever really wanted, we need to step out of it. Do what I call doing the Descartes. Like literally just get away from it all. And forget about everything you know and start from a very beginning. I'm a life in a creation, in a universe that I don't give a crap how much noodle twisting we do in academics. We will never, ever, ever have all the answers about, and we will never, ever, ever have a full picture on how it works. I had a conversation about abortion the other day. I don't think elective abortion should have ever been legalized. I can understand there are medically necessary abortions. Okay, ectopic pregnancies. Would I ask somebody who was raped to carry a child? No. Do I think that what we call rape sometimes is a gross misinterpretation because we've over-sexualized everything and everybody's always like aroused? People get overcome. Like there's a reason why sex was restricted, guys. It's one of the most dangerous parts of being human. And women use sex. And a lot of this really has been about the female orgasm. Because with the sexual revolution, the marketers really got their claws in our amygdalas. And in my lifetime, what's the word I'm looking for? Availability of sexually explicit material has gone from really hard to get your hands on to it's on the bus stop. You know, mothers used to hide their Sears catalogs so their sons, because whatever happened to innocence, intimacy, discovery, the wonder of discovering sex with a partner, somebody you love. Okay, sex before marriage was not commonplace when I was born. And just because some people wanted to do it doesn't mean that everybody had to. Just because some women want to be, worker cogs and not homemakers didn't mean all of us had to be that, but it did. And I'll tell you, if you wanted to be a traditional housewife in the 80s and 90s, you were looked at as some kind of fucking traitor. You were treated as such by a lot of people. I introduced a friend of mine in university in 1992 to my pregnant sister, and they said, I'm sorry. Like it was some burden to be a parent, and that's the way we look at it. There was actually a TV show called I think it's called Children Ruin Everything. What the fuck, people? What have we done? Honestly. There's so much. And ultimately, it's because we threw God out. God should be where we start. Good orderly direction. What positive force can I be in this creation? Should be our starting point. Gratitude for our creation, not judgment of it, should be our starting point. That's what we lost. That's what civilized us. And if you look back through history and you read things like the Bible and you watch this tale of the human condition over and over and over again, look at what stage we're in right now, people. It is time to repent and change our ways. I really hope somebody is listening. Thank you very much if you got this far. Well, they say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Yeah. I'll see you there.